Hey everybody, this is Gary, the fist pump guy. Today, I'm bringing you another product video. Well, sorta. It's not a Toyota. I'm doing my first review on a 2020 Kia Telluride. Now this is one we traded in. It's got about 10,000 miles on it. It is the EX trim. So I'm gonna tell you what I think about this particular vehicle. Stay tuned. First, let's take a look at the overall exterior styling of this vehicle. When you first look at the vehicle from the front, and this is the first thing I noticed, it's a little squared off in the front, a little boxy, but it does make it look unique, but it's a little boxy for me. It kind of reminds me of a Ford Flex, if some of you guys remember the Ford Flex. Now, as you step around, it does have a lot of the safety features that you'll find on some of the newer cars with the pre-collision system, lane keep assist, and such as that. That may be some research you need to do as far as safety goes. But overall, I think the styling looks pretty good. The hood lines look good. The body lines are probably average, I would say. It kind of reminds me of a Pilot, which, you know, they're a good vehicle as well. You get your 18-inch alloys, blinkers on the mirror. So we'll step around the back, give you a good exterior view. I didn't look, but I'm assuming those lights are LEDs. I didn't look at that, but because I haven't driven it at night or anything, so I just really. But as far as the overall exterior styling, it is a unique vehicle. It does stand out from the rest, and I believe that Kia, in that aspect, has done a great job with that. Let's take a look at the interior. Now, I have to admit, typically when I get into a Kia, I feel like it's somewhat cheaply made, quite honestly, depending on the vehicle. But I will say that I was quite surprised with the trim and the finish inside this Telluride. You got a nice soft touch leather here. Like I said, this is an EX. You got your heated ventilated front seats. The seats are very soft, pretty comfortable, if I might say so myself. You do got power driver and passenger seat on the EX. Now, one of my features I liked on this vehicle for sure, it's one touch. So when you push it, it locks in place until you stop it. You see what I'm saying? It's pretty cool. I actually like that a lot. I don't know about the passenger side. I didn't try it, but that's a quick look at the driver. But another thing I like, if you'll notice, it does have wood grain right across here. And I went ahead and turned the vehicle on because I wanted to show you something. But you got wood grain here. It's not a glossy finish, okay? A lot of your manufacturers, including Toyota, have a gloss here. This actually looks and feels like real wood. So when you talk about wood grain, it's legit. Now, I don't know what that actually is, but if you were to put your hand on it, it feels like it's been sanded down wood, and that's basically raw wood, okay? All right, so we're looking at the interior right now. Mirror, this one does have a power sunroof. That's, I don't know what UVO is. It must be some kind of transmission, like a Safety Connect or OnStar or something. I don't know for sure. This particular one has an upgraded 10-inch screen. And the nav on here is very intuitive. It's very detailed. So you can see that on this screen that you get a lot of detail.
Please proceed to the highlighted route, then the route guidance will start.
Okay, so I don't know exactly how to work this, but anyway, I just wanted to show you the detail on the screen. That looks pretty good to me. Now, the HVAC controls, you do get dual temp controls, and you get all your buttons for your radio screen up top. Pretty easy to use. Sometimes when you get all those controls together like that, it's a little clustered. Like sometimes you don't know where the volume button is, but you know, overall, I can get by with that. You got your heated ventilated switch here for your seats. Kind of somewhat good location, maybe. I'm not real positive about that. I'm gonna show you something else about that in a minute. You open up this little hidden compartment. This one gives you the Qi wireless charger, USB ports, power plug, and you do also have some different drive modes here, along with the automatic power parking brake and your parking sensors. When you look at the steering wheel, a lot of these buttons you'll see is typically what you'll see on Kias. I'm not a big fan of those. However, some people might like them. I really don't, but like I said, I'm not the one buying this vehicle. You might be. You got a pretty easy to read instrument cluster. Really nothing special about that. It's not really all that dressed up. Now I have turned the radio up pretty good on this vehicle, and it is very clear and loud. So I would say that overall the radio is really good in this vehicle. I don't know what the speakers are, I don't know what the wattage is, but to me it sounds really good. I'm gonna come back up front here in a minute. I just want to kind of finish walking around the vehicle. As you step in the back, you do get your visors on the EX. Your wood grain continues, speakers in the door. One of my features I really like on this car, Toyota had something similar to this before in the back, but not up here. You touch the button here, and it automatically slides the seat forward. I forget what that was called. I read it, and I'm not exactly sure what that's called, but that's a pretty neat feature to have. It even has one up top for the back seat. See how that happens? And it does it on both sides, and I thought that was pretty neat. Now, as you step in the back, I want you to notice something. I'm not going to get all the way in here. Your USB charging stations for your back seat passengers are on both sides of the seats, and I'm not getting in the third row. There's one over there and then one on the back side. So you got, it looks like you got 4 in the back plus a little 12-volt plug there. So you got plenty of technology plug-ins. Now this one, you will have a power rear door. I don't know about the LX, but the EX does have that. Of course, third row seat. Haven't really lowered and raised these a lot. This might be an issue for some people. I'm 6'5" with long arms. Now, I don't know another way to lift up these seats. If somebody can tell me how else you could lift the seat back up, but if I'm short, my knees are already touching here, but if I'm short, it'd be hard for me to pull this back up, okay? It'd be hard for that. So I don't know an easier way. I could be wrong in doing it like that, but it's pretty easy to let down. I will say that, but then if I had to reach all the way in there, if I'm a little shorter, it might be difficult. So I don't know what the fix is for that, but that's letting you know what I think. This does have a button for the front seats too. So if I push one of these, it's gonna let that seat down. Toyota used to have something like that. They don't have it anymore. Storage back here is pretty good. It looks like it's about what a Highlander is, maybe a little less, and you do have storage up under here. This back part here cuts off too much, so it takes away from a lot of your storage. So if you'll look right here, it's almost even with the back of the door. So though the design looks good, sometimes when you shave off that much, and I didn't try sitting back there, but I'm willing to bet I wouldn't be able to sit back there. Not that I would be, but anybody of decent size may not fit. But you see how far back this comes, so that would take away from a lot of your storage that you would have right there. Okay, but overall, I think it's a pretty good design. All right, let's take a look at the headroom and legroom. Now, before I talk about the legroom and headroom in this vehicle, I did just check the power seat on the passenger side. It doesn't do the feature one touch forward, one touch back for the move, but it does move backwards and forwards. But one thing I like, and I wish Toyota would get on board with this with the Highlander, and I hope they do for 2020, is this seat raises up and down. Okay, that's very convenient. Now, a lot of people don't understand what I'm talking about there, but when you're my height, it's very important that if I sit in a passenger seat, which is rare, that I'm able to lower my seat. But anyway, this car does do that. Now, as far as headroom, I did notice this. Okay, I've got plenty of headroom. Now, this car has a sunroof, okay, and typically you lose a little bit of headroom with sunroof. But if you can see here, I got a couple inches right there between the top of my head, and even if I sit straight up, I'm still not touching. So I will say that headroom is excellent on this vehicle. Now, as far as leg and knee room on the driver's side, I haven't tried the passenger side, but I got plenty of length in my legs and knee room in this vehicle. Now, the seat's currently all the way back, which I usually don't ride like that. So I'll probably put it right about here. So as far as knee room and leg room to the dash is great. The one complaint I would have on here is, I don't know if you can see this, but where the the AC seats and the heated seat button is, there's a little, looks like a handle here. I don't know if you can see that right now, but it's in the way. Okay, so there's mosquitoes everywhere. If I wanted to spread my legs to, to relax, it's hard for me to do that. And the speaker that's on the door, I don't know if you can see it either, it protrudes out. So when you close the door, it takes away about, it looks like close to an inch, if not over an inch from that. So I would say that between this section here for my leg and the door, I'm probably losing about 2 inches or 3 inches or so that I would be able to spread my leg out. Okay, so I really think they could have done better on that. But I will say that overall, I'm very impressed with the headroom and the overall leg room. Though I don't know that I would necessarily like this vehicle long term because I can't relax my legs there. That may not affect everybody, but it affects me. Let's take a look at the back seat. All right, now we're in the back seat. I hope you can see all of me because I wanted to back the camera up a little bit so you can see my knee room and my headroom. Just by sitting here, sitting straight up, second row seats, perfectly fine for me. I don't know that I would necessarily be sitting up, but guess what? It does recline. So you do have a nice reclining feature here, which a lot of your SUVs, especially midsize, do accommodate that. Now, as far as knee room goes, this seat's basically all the way back. There's probably not as much leg room here as I would like to, but like I said, most time I wouldn't be riding in the back anyway. But I think this will be fine for somebody smaller, maybe even kids to ride in. I don't know about the third row space. Looks like you'd be limited on that, but guess what? Almost all midsize SUVs, you're limited on third row space. Let's take a quick look at the drivetrain and what this car can do. Now, opening up the hood, I just want to tell you I was impressed about something. I really like the fact that it doesn't have a hood prop. It does have the smaller shocks in the back. Now, I'd be kind of concerned about where they're located. Not that it's a big deal right now because they're so far back, it looks like the majority of the weight's on the front that eventually they would wear out. But I do like the fact that it's got two shocks in here that help raise and lower the hood without having a hood prop. I like that. I'm sorry. Okay, so when you look under the hood, I'm not a big understander. I don't know all the engine components of these vehicles, but I will say this is a 3.8 6-cylinder. It's paired with an 8-speed. Now, based on some reading I did, it gets you about 291 horsepower, and it looks like it gets about 26 miles per gallon on the highway. Now, most of your midsize SUVs right now are getting 26, 27, 28 miles per gallon on the highway, so that's about average compared to the rest of them. It does have the auto on-off, shut-off when you stop at lights and stuff like that, much like the Highlander does, what we call start-stop. I know a lot of people probably don't like that, but I think a lot of manufacturers are going that way, so I really can't complain about it, though I don't necessarily like it either. But I will say that the pickup on this vehicle is very nice. It seamlessly accelerates when you get on the gas. It is an 8-speed, so sometimes with the 8 speeds, you think it would sometimes try to be fine in the gear, where this one doesn't really seem to do that. Though I do say it rides a little stiff, probably because it's boxy. It's fairly quiet. As far as the engine goes, the road noise is very limited based on what I can tell. I didn't ride in the back seat to tell, because that's typically where you can hear it the worst. But I did hear a little wind noise coming around the mirrors on the outside. But overall, I would say that the performance of the engine was somewhat impressive. So since this is such a new vehicle, being a 2020, the jury's still out about the value of this vehicle, because oftentimes you'll notice a lot of your Kias, they don't really hold a great value depending on which vehicle you're looking at. So the jury's still out about that. So having said that, if I had to give this an overall rating, I'd probably say a B to a B plus as far as rating goes, maybe even pushing towards an A, because like I said, based on what you're spending on these now, there's people charging over MSRP. I'd be concerned about long-term value on these just because of the fact of what most Kias do. However, I will say overall, I think they did a good job with this vehicle. It's a nice ride. I think it'd be a good family vehicle. This particular one's comfortable. Now, I didn't drive an EX or anything, or a LX or whatever it is. I didn't drive one of those. But this particular one seemed to be nice. It's got some great features in it. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, things like that. So technology, performance, room's pretty good as far as it's for the driver and passenger. So overall, probably BB plus. But I just want to say thank you guys for watching this video. This is one of my first review videos I've done on another brand, and this is something I'm gonna start branching out to. So I hope you stay tuned. I hope you subscribe while you're here, because obviously the more subscribers I have, the better audience I have, and the more videos I plan on putting out. So like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow the Fist Pumped Enterprise.